represent the values that you stand for. Click the link below for God, Family, and Guns merchandise. As we've watched the Russian and Ukrainian conflict continue, and there's the threat of China and Taiwan erupting into something, and of course many of the U.S. military personnel are heading to both those areas, and there's a lot to be concerned about. But when it comes to Russia, I think a lot of the concern that most U.S. citizens have is a nuclear war. What would be the results of a nuclear war? Can you survive one? Well, this episode, we're going to talk about where in the United States would be safe in the event of a nuclear strike. Now, obviously, I don't have any access to Russia's intelligence on their nuclear facilities, but what we can look at is our facilities, like what would be targets and why would there be targets. So I'm going to show you this map real quick. What this map is it's essentially going to give you an idea of civilian targets are going to be in yellow, and military targets are in red, and infrastructure targets are in kind of that blue color. Now, what I can say is in Missouri, of course, we see the military targets being Fort Leonard Wood, and we also see Whiteman Air Force Base a little bit east of Kansas City. And then, of course, you see all the major targets. Now, also what you're seeing here is the fallout. Everything in purple is going to be your extreme severe fallout. Everything in blue is going to be medium fallout. Green is going to be minor fallout, and then the kind of the lightish yellowish green is going to be minimal fallout. So you kind of want to stay in the minimal to the no fallout zone. Now, from what I understand, you got about a 30-minute to an hour-long warning in the event of a nuclear strike. That's not much time to do anything, so the ideal situation is that you just don't live in these major areas. Now, I do believe that military targets are going to be a bigger issue than civilian targets. I just don't think civilian targets outside of places like New York and Washington, D.C. and L.A., I don't think civilian targets are necessarily going to be the strategy. But again, I don't know. I don't have their intelligence, but this kind of gives you an idea. Now, my plan in such an event, what I would kind of be in the Ozarks, which looks a little iffy at best. Obviously, northern Nebraska, eastern South Dakota, Wyoming, Idaho, eastern Oregon, northern Nevada, western Texas, northern Michigan, that kind of thing. Those are going to be good places to be. Maine, northern Maine, that kind of thing. So I just wanted to kind of throw this map out there to get you thinking, because I've seen it out there a lot. Like, well, where would you go? What would you do? It's a good question. Hope this map kind of gives you some insight. For me, no matter what, I'm going to be heading to Camdenton, probably that area. Most likely in the event, but it depends. It's so hard to get anywhere in 30 minutes to an hour, so the ideal situation you should be already in one of these places. But those of you in Wyoming, Idaho, that kind of thing, I think you guys are sitting pretty good. Texas, I think a lot of parts of Missouri are doing really well. I think the Ozarks probably do okay. And again, this fallout as well is determined on the direction of the wind, which can vary based on the season. So there you go. Love to get any thoughts or insight on this. Again, this is this map makes sense to me for the most part, because the military targets are going to be the biggest one, and that's why North Dakota, Montana, those areas are really kind of bumming for the military reasons. I see the point of the infrastructure targets. Civilian targets, a little cruel in my book, but it is war. So love to hear any insights you might have on it. Put in the comments below. If you like this video, click like and subscribe. Feel called to support this channel with Patreon. That link is also below. But the most important part of this channel, we take prayer requests, so don't ever hesitate to send that in. Thank you for watching this episode of God, Family, and Guns. And as always, love God, love your family, and love guns.